Okay, this is it. Welcome to the NQ Addicts Scalping course, and this is Module 8. This is where we put it all together, trading NQ. I'm really excited you guys made it this far. I'm proud of you. Even if you're an experienced NQ trader, I hope you learned something in this course. I picked up a lot of great strategies from a lot of great traders, and I'm just excited to be able to put it all together in a simple and cohesive strategy for anybody looking to trade NQ successfully. So we will put it all together here. At this point, we have gone over the framework, the concepts and tools that govern this strategy. Okay, it started with trading balance versus imbalance. We only trade balance. How do we decide whether we're in balance or not? Once we know we're in balance, how do we find our levels to trade off of? What tools do we use to figure that out? How do I take my trade? What am I keeping in mind in terms of market rhythm? How is NQ moving? How far is it moving? How volatile is it? And then lastly, getting in with the volume, the order flow in the direction of my scalp, and having a successful trade over and over and over again. So now it's time for you to take them and put them into practice, and only through practice will the results come. The process, okay? So I've broken it down here. You're going to pick a time frame to trade on. Personally, I trade the 5-minute chart. You're welcome to try this on any time frame you like. However, I do not advise using things like Renko charts or range bars or anything that doesn't take time into effect. And why is that? Because I believe that velocity and time are extremely important elements to scalping. And that within a 5-minute candle or what have you, it's easier for you to be able to see the type of action that's taking place with respect to previous price action. So are things speeding up? Are they slowing down? Are we ranging really tight? I do feel like time frames lower than 5 minutes are extremely difficult to trade on. That's where the algorithms and the computers are battling it out, and you get a lot of false signals. So I do believe widening out a little bit to the 5-minute makes it a lot easier to trade successfully on NQ. But I'm going to let you all do your own research. At any given time, ask the question, are we in balance or is the market imbalanced? Use the tools that we have talked about in terms of market profile, VWAP bands, initial balance to help you decide whether we are currently balanced or imbalanced. If we are imbalanced, we wait. There's nothing to do. Okay, we're going to wait for a new range to establish. We're going to find a new value area. And once we are there, we'll have our trade setups. If we are in balance, it's time to start looking for a trade. And lucky for us, the market spends 80% of the time in balance, only 20% of the time in price discovery. So we will have a lot of opportunities to trade, unlike the trend trader, who is normally spending 80% of their time waiting for a good, solid trend or price discovery. Okay? Once we have determined we are in balance, we are going to look for entry areas based on value area low, value area high, and point of control. And we're going to follow our rules that we talked about. Okay? If we break below value area low, for example, and accept, price discovery to the downside, no trade. We need to be patient. We need to be aware of the price rotations, price acceptance, rejection, okay, before committing. Are we returning to value or are we going to quickly reject? I have to be patient. We're coming down to value area low. Are we going to dump through area low or are we going to hold? I need to be patient. I can't just blindly get in because we're approaching a trading area and hoping it holds. Or I can't get in the direction of breaking, hoping it breaks out. I'm going to get totally faked out that way and very, very frustrated. Patience is key. And lastly, this is going to help my patience. I need to keep an eye on the order flow. At this point, the best scalps are going to be when buying and selling pressure comes in the direction of my idea. So if my idea is that we're going to go down to value area low and hold and find a brief reversal to scalp, I need order flow to tell me that story. I need it to confirm my trade idea. Okay? And the opposite of that, if I think we're going to get a breakout, I need the volume. I need the cumulative volume to tell me that. Let's talk a little bit about execution. Okay? Scaling in and out of a position helps get better pricing and capture bigger scalps on average. So when I say scale in, for example, if my typical size is 3 contracts, I'm going to buy 1 contract at a time until I get to 3 contracts. Scale out, I'm going to sell as the scalp moves in my favor, 1 contract at a time until I sell all 3. Everyone's size will be different due to their account size, and risk tolerance also varies. And these are factors you'll need to experiment with. What's right for you? The size of your account. How many trades you want to take? What's your profit target? What's your risk? How much are you willing to risk on a trade before you're out for the day? Okay, I know some guys that are willing their whole max loss on every trade, right? Is that right? I don't know. They seem to do very well. I know other guys that do that and they just can't catch a break. Right? So it's really going to vary. I know we want to bring this all to statistics and what's the numbers, but it truly varies. This is not an entirely systematic mechanical way of trading. This is a discretionary way of trading. So one guy who follows this strategy one way might be, immensely more successful than the next guy. It's the same strategy. What's the difference? It's the discretion. It's the practice. It's the experience. What works for them? What are they finding success with? So once you establish a max size based on your personal loss per trade, per day, etc., divide that into 3 or 4 lots for your entry and exit, right? So if my max size is, if 1 mini is your max size, you're going to need to use micros. Okay, so scale in 3 micros at a time. 3, 6, 9, maybe 12. Okay, and then scale out. We try to scale into the position if price works slightly against you. So if I'm going long, okay, price momentum is moving up, I'm going to try and scale into my first. Okay, I'm going to wait for a slight micro pullback, add another, and add another, right, to try and get the best price and hopefully get that retracement boost in the order, in the move of the order flow. And then as I'm in the green, I'm going to try to scale out. Normally, I'll try and do that on the offer, but I'll hit market orders depending on what type of market we're in. Globex, I'll almost always use limit orders because of the spread. But I have to say this is all timing and a feel that must be cultivated through practice. Okay? I wish I could give you hard and fast rules here of what this looks like. I think your best bet is to practice, to get a feel for what works for you, and also to watch us in the Discord. Okay, we'll post trades, we'll do some live videos, we'll do a lot of things so you can see what we do, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to trade exactly like me. You're going to have to find your way with this system. It works, but you need to practice and get good at it and find your way with the system. If anything changes in order flow, we get out immediately. We do not wait. Holding and hoping of a reversal is the fastest way to a max loss day. As a good example to get out, momentum is slowing. So example, we get a gray bar on our cumulative delta, or price is clearly reversing with aggressive buyers and sellers stepping in. So we need to get out. We just dump it. Okay. We also, as we start to scale out, we can put a stop at break even to lock in so we can't turn a winning trade into a loser. All right. So if we're experiencing good momentum and we want to try and let this thing run a little bit, we got to move that stop to break even. Lock in. Cannot be a losing trade now. But you're also, this goes into market rhythm as well. When has it gone far enough where I can safely put my stop at break even without easily getting wicked out or stopped out, right? Market rhythm, rotations. So all of this comes into context here. So what's next for you now that we're finishing up the course here? It's practice, practice, practice. As much practice as you can possibly do. Ideally, if you're new, practice in a demo account or with micros, trade 3 micros at a time, max size. Get active in our Discord, ask questions, post charts, review others' trades. All right, look for live video trading examples and sessions in the Discord so you can see exactly us and how we're taking these trades, what it looks like. And lastly, it's for us to make lots of money. I don't know about you guys, but I got into trading to make as much money as possible. That's why I do this. I love trading, but I love making money more. That's why I do this. We're here to make money. That's the whole purpose of all of this. So I want you guys to take this seriously. This works, and we can all get there together with practice and patience. Okay, we're here to support each other, to learn. We're going to use this community for us NQ addicts to focus on one goal, and that's for NQ to be our driving force of making money. The NQ addicts. So I really appreciate your time for taking this course. It's been an absolute pleasure to put this together and share the exact strategies I use to make money with NQ every single trading day. My profit goal is usually about $1,000 a day, and I often hit it 90% of the time. And I'm proud to share this journey with you and turn as many of you into successful NQ traders as possible. And if you already are a successful NQ trader, to have you on our team and let's enjoy this journey together. So stay NQ addicted, my friends. And I leave you with this. A quote by Winston Churchill: never give in, never give in. Never, 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 never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in. Except in convictions of honor and good sense, never yield to force.